things like the Ukraine war, the Yemen war, the total destruction of Iraq going on still. These are all very serious things, many more.
Mm.
But it's true that there's a background issues creeping up on us, and very little is being done about it. Maybe something is Goldman Sachs just had a study of China. They claim that China is looks as if it's going to reach its goals of net zero fossil fuels much earlier than was expected. So maybe that's a good sign. But most of us are going completely in the wrong direction. Last year, fossil fuel production increased. The United States, which is right now the leading fossil fuel producer, expanding with new fields, opening up federal lands for exploration for decades ahead. The fossil fuel companies are euphoric with the prospects for increased public support for their enterprise of destroying life on Earth. So it doesn't look good. Well, the invasion of Ukraine is plainly a war crime. Can't put it in the same category as greater war crimes, but it's a major one, according to the official, the only evidence that we have, solid evidence, is United Nations estimates, Pentagon estimates, and so on. They estimate about 8,000 civilians killed. That's a lot of people. What the United States and Britain do overnight, it's presumably it's an underestimate. So let's say it's twice that much. That would put it at the level of the U.S.-backed Israeli invasion of Lebanon, which killed about maybe 20,000 people. Suppose it's off by a factor of 10. That is, the casualty rate is really 10 times as high as is claimed. Well, that would put it in the category of Ronald Reagan's terrorist atrocities in El Salvador, roughly on the order of 80,000. So it's serious. Of course, Iraq is just another dimension. So it's serious. It's a terrible crime. You can understand why the global South does not take very seriously the eloquent protestations of Western countries about this unique episode in history. They've been victims of far more. Maybe the Russians will go on to our level, maybe. Maybe they'll go on to, you may recall how many people visited Baghdad while the United States and Britain were pulverizing it. Nobody visited Baghdad. In fact, anyone there, UN inspectors, peace activists, were taken out of the country because it was too dangerous when the U.S. and Britain go to war. No foreign leaders visiting it. Like, I presume Russia could up the ante and move on to the U.S.-British style war. Maybe they could even go to the point of commemorating atrocities like Mariupol with the way the United States is now commemorating some of its worst atrocities in Iraq. Like one of the worst atrocities was the marine assault on Fallujah, beautiful city, one of the most beautiful in Iraq, destroyed, unknown numbers of people killed. But the people still dying from the weapons that were used. The United States Navy just commissioned its latest warship, the USS Fallujah, in honor of the marine assault, which carried out one of the worst atrocities in Iraq. Well, maybe the Russians will get to that point too someday. Is fabrication of the right wing. I am not seeking to excuse anything. I said it's a terrible war crime. That's not excusing anything. I'm talking about the extreme hypocrisy of claims about how this is the worst thing that ever happened when it's a fraction of what we do all the time. That's why the Global South is watching with ridicule as pompous Western commentators try to lecture them on why don't you join us in opposing this terrible crime. So a leader gets up and says, how can you not join us when a country is attacking another country? They laugh and ridicule. That's what you've been doing to us forever.